Hi everyone. Who have we got this morning? We have Suzanne, Lynn, Mum, Holly, Debbie. Wow. Thank you so much for all popping in. I just realized I forgot to put lipstick on this morning. Oh well, never mind. Why do I have okay. I don't know why. Some of these are highlighted and I don't know why. Anyway, we'll forget that before we even start. How is everyone this morning? It's beautiful here today. Still cool, but really a nice day. So I've got lots to do when I finish here. I think the oven might need to get cleaned today. One of my not so favorite jobs. But yeah, has to be done, I suppose. Okay, so my name's Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the Fraser Coast of Queensland, Australia. And I can help anybody in Australia if they're wanting to get into card making, paper crafting of any sort. Just either give me a call or contact me through my Facebook page, or you can even contact me on here. I really don't mind. So I'd love to have you join me. We have the new products that demonstrators can now call. Oh, okay. That sounds technical, Debbie. So demonstrators can now order their the new products from the new mini catalog, which is fantastic. It doesn't go live with the general public until the 3rd of September. However, if anybody was really wanting to get ahead of everything, they can always join up, and then you can get your hands on those products right now. Okay, so there's always the joining offer of $169, and you get $235 worth of product for that. Free shipping, that's it. And then once you've done that, the next order you pop in, which could be the same day if you really wanted it to, you could then put another order in, and from there on in, you get 20% discount. I'd be more than happy to talk anybody through all the nitty gritty. You don't have to do videos. You don't have to hold parties. You don't have to do anything. You can just sign up and you can get all your products at a 20% discount. So that's worth it for anybody. Okay, also Friday the 29th, I will be having a card class here at my home. So anybody who wants to pop along to that, feel free to do so. I was tempted to do it online as well, but I'm not quite sure that I'm that tech savvy yet to be able to do both at once. So, but we will be having a face-to-face party here, card making class here, and we'll be using all the new products. I nearly had a conniption because I put my order in and then I got a message through saying it should be due to you on about the 20th. And I'm like, oh, the 20th, my goodness, that doesn't give me much time. Hi, Marlene, how are you this morning? But thankfully, yesterday afternoon, I got another one saying that it should be here by this Friday. So that was a big relief. Okay, so what I've been doing, I decided I'd set myself a little bit of a challenge. And what I want to do is try and use colors that either you wouldn't think to put together, or maybe they shouldn't go together, right? So, you know, we've always said you should never wear blue and green without something in between and all those sorts of things, you know. So those sorts of things. Hi, Kim, how are you? Those sorts of things. But there's some unlikely colours and colours that I most certainly wouldn't think to put together. So I've set myself this little challenge that I'm going to try and use colours that don't usually go together. Now, that's going to be really hard for me because in a previous life, no, not that long ago, I worked as a makeup artist, and there were certain colors that you put together and there were certain colors that you didn't. I also used to do color imaging, which helped people with the colors that they should wear with their skin type. And so for me to be putting myself outside of that box of what should go together and what shouldn't is going to be a bit difficult. But for today, Thursday and Friday, that's what I'm going to be doing. So if anyone wants to join in and put some colors together that are unlikely, if you like, feel free to pop over to my Facebook page. I'll put a post up on there. It's Color Me Crazy. I'll put a post up on there, and if you make any cards with unlikely colors, please pop pictures of it underneath where I put the post, and we'll see what everybody comes up with. I think I can just imagine some of it, but you know, I'm very much one of these. You can't put that with that. You can't put that with that. So I'm going to be breaking all boundaries by doing this. So we'll just see how we go. Alrighty, today is a little bit like that for me. It's just colors that I wouldn't have put together, but when I started throwing colors on the desktop, I came up with this. So who's got an interesting job? What's happening? How are you, Sheila? Good morning. All right, so I do have a card that I'm ready to put together here. I'll have to measure it because I sort of just threw it together. But we'll pop down to the desktop. There we go. And this morning I am looking at basic beige, crumb cake, and whatever that one is. I think it's Pretty in Pink. It's from the 24 to 26 in colors. I think that was what it was, Pretty in Pink. And I've used the 6x6 pack for that. All right, so the general idea is to do quite a few layers with these colors. Now, as I said, they're colors that I wouldn't normally have put together. So we'll just see how we go. Alrighty, so my base card is my normal 5 3/4 by 8. Okay, so that's the base. My next layer, so that's basic beige. Then on crumb cake, I've done 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. So that will be the next layer. Now that's two colors that I probably wouldn't use very much. Okay. Then I have cut my first designer series paper layer at 5 1/4 by 3 1/2, and that is going to sit on top of there. We've got a couple of layers here. So, and I know that with these two, I think I went with like 1/8 of an inch difference. So this one is 4 5/8 inches by 1 7/8. So that's the top. And then the underneath, which is crumb cake, is 4 3/4 by 2. And they're going to sit, that one's going to sit on there, and it's got a very narrow border around the edge. And then this one, I have cut the larger bit, again in crumb cake. It is 2 1/2 by 4, and the top piece is, what is it? 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. No, it's not 1 3/8 at all. It's 1, 2. Yes, it is 1 3/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, so then we have that piece as well. Of course, I've cut 2 circles. That's out of the Stylish Shapes, and I think I used the second largest and the third largest. Let me just grab those out. So that's that one and that one. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be using for the main part today. And we'll have a look at what's on this part here. I'm going to do this straight up because I want to get that done. I'm going to use the elements of text, and of course I want to emboss it. So going with the pink and the white here, what I want to do, which one do I want to use? I'm probably going to have to stamp twice. So let me find a block. Might need to be that one. Now, although there's no right way or wrong way with the elements of text, if you look at it, you can sort of see which way it is maybe supposed to go. I wouldn't say that there was an exact way for it to go. So I want to use the white. If I have white, do I have white? Yes, I do. Opaque bright white. So I'm going to be using that. I'll just take these out for a second. And I'll use the little pillow just to go over this to make sure we've taken off any fingerprints or anything like that. My goodness, this pillow is so old. I might have to get rid of it actually and use the new one. All right, so I'm going to do this stamping. So I'm going to take my Versamark to the stamp pad, and I'm going to do it once. Just make sure that that's on there, and then I'm going to do it a second time so that I can cover the bit that wasn't done. Okay, so that is that. Whoops, dropped that, didn't I? Okay, I just want to wipe this off because I've now got Versamark on there. I'll get that off. I've learned not to put the wet wipes on the table when I finish because I've actually messed up a couple of cards where it's moved onto it and then. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this white. It has something in it that it shouldn't have, onto the Versamark. Put that there like that. Give it a. See, there's a little bit up there that I might have actually touched that with my finger as I flicked it just now. All right, so now I've got that. I'll move that out of the way. Put the lid on this because otherwise I know what will happen there. And so I'll just use the bit of noise for a minute. I'm just going to use and we'll see how this shows up. I love it when this happens. It fascinates me every single time. Looks like I left a bit of a gap there, but that's okay. Whoops. Okay, so seriously? Okay, so now we have that. You can see I've left a little bit of a gap there, but I'm sure that'll be okay because it's actually going to sit under here, and then we've got other stuff there as well, and that is going to sit on there like that. Now that is a piece of cardstock. Okay, the rest of it is the top bits is paper. So I'm just going to, I can't believe that did that. I'm just going to stick that onto there so that I don't lose it. So those that were watching yesterday, remember I totally lost the card. What had happened, I had put it over to the side, over to my left, and it must have fallen off. And then another piece of paper fell on top of it. So when I went looking for it, I couldn't see it. So when I'd finished, I thought it's got to be somewhere. And there it was. I'm just going to put this away as well. So I love this for doing the, absolutely love it. It makes it so much easier to pop everything away. I remember I always used to use a piece of folded up A4 paper to do this. It worked admirably. However, this is a lot easier. Okay. Put the end back on so that I don't lose it. Pop everything back in there. Right, done. Out of the way, hopefully. You get the little brush and the reverse tweezers as well, which is quite good. All right, so we have that. We have this. So I am going to put this straight down onto the card base. So I'll just... I didn't know if I was actually going to get here this morning because Tuesday mornings we have a team meeting. And it just seemed to be going on and on this morning. I had to leave before it finished. All right, so I've just popped that down on there. And then I'm also going to put this flat down on here. So we'll have another one of these. And we'll put that down on there. Now these just have that tiny little bit around the edges, okay? So that is going to, let me clear some of this stuff out of my way because I know what happens if I don't. Okay, I was just thinking I could have probably put another circle under there, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it as it is for now. So this one I want to put here, and I'll probably put that one flat, and then this one I will raise up onto the front here. Will I put that flat or won't I? Yeah, I think I'll put that one flat and then raise that one up. That's what I'll do. So I'm going to just place this piece down. I just need to make sure that I'm putting it in the right. So I think it just needs to go just a little bit away from the edge here. Then this piece gives me the opportunity then to lift that up, which I'll put it onto dimensionals. I also found the dimensionals. Alrighty, so we'll just put some dimensionals on here. How are you feeling this morning, Suzanne? It is a lot of work moving, and you realize that you've got muscles that you didn't know you had, and they don't like letting you know in a nice way, do they? All right, so we'll put the dimensionals on there. Who was I watching? I'm watching someone yesterday. It was quite late last night, and she had this little. It was like a disc, about yay big, and I think it had like a brushes on the other side. And when she did her dimensional, she just went over, and it was like a little vacuum cleaner thing, so tiny, like literally tiny. But I thought, oh my goodness, I so need one of those in my life. Now I just want to put this on here, but I want to get it nice and straight so that we can still see. Might have missed a bit there too, actually. Don't know. Just let me 2 seconds. Where's the on-off switch? Who stole it? There it is. Let's see if there's. No, it would have dried by now anyway. So, right. So that's what we've got so far. Now, let me have a look here, because half the time, hi Daphne, how are you? Yep, that was stuck up there and I didn't see. Who else have we got? Susie sitting at the new house. Excellent. Oh, good on you, Tanya, for updating the happy mail list. Hi, Sue. How are you? Oh, you're all having a good old chat here. Hi, Susan. How are you? Happy crafting to you too. Thank you so much for joining us. They're stalking each other. My goodness, you're having a great old chat there. That's so good to see. Isn't it lovely that you can come online like this and you can meet all sorts of new people? Yes, it is amazing how much stuff you realize that you have. Suzanne, are you doing a live today? Let us know on here so that we can promote it so that people know you're going live. Alrighty, so then this piece is going to go on here. And something there doesn't look particularly straight, but hopefully it is. Maybe it's just my eyes. Okay, so I'm going to pop that up on there. There's going to be a bit of height to this card. And why not, I say? Why not? I'm just not going to take these. Oh, yeah, I will. I was going to say I'm not going to take these off yet, but I will. So we'll pop this on here. Yes, I know you still watch. I do the same though. You know we're the same when we're on the other end of it as well. And sometimes there's the boring bits. Yes, absolutely, Lynn. That is so true. Alrighty, so that is going to go on there, but I just want to leave it just for a no. I'm going to put that down there flat, obviously. I could put a couple of dimensionals under there just to hold that, because I might even just put one small one under there so that when I pop that up, when I stick that down, I mean, actually that doesn't look, let me see if I can get that a little bit more central. I will leave it, otherwise it's going to, so we'll pop it there like that. It can be a little bit concentric. How's that? Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. Now, I'll put that dimensional on there. I'm just going to put a little one on. It's just so that when it sits, it doesn't flatten down. If it was to go in the mail, oh, maybe I should stamp it first. That's a bit silly, isn't it? I should have stamped that before I did that. Might have to just cut no, it's not going to stamp on there. I might cut another 2 of those because I should have stamped that top piece before I stuck it on there. That's what I get for reading and talking instead of paying attention to what I'm doing. So, no, that's not. What colour was that? That's not okay. So I'll have a piece of the crumb cake out. Actually, I probably don't need that much. And a piece of the basic beige if I can find some. Might have to start a new one for the basic beige. Unless I have a piece over here. I do. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to cut those 2 again. I will use those 2. Just not on this. Okay. So I'll just cut 1 each of these. And would you believe a piece of basic beige is already over here ready to go. So there's one. And there's the other. Right. Note to self, don't stick them together until you've actually done your stamping. And I will use that later. So, well, that was good because it was sort of like not quite, excuse me, not quite central anyway. Hi, Holly. All right, so I'm going to use I'm going to bring in early espresso. And I'm going to use, I think, it's got to go on the smaller one, so it might not fit, but I really wanted to use, oh no, it's not going to fit. We'll have to have another thought about what we're going to put on it. Let me have a little look-see. Maybe just something with one word, not necessarily thanks. Hello is always good. Have a look what I've got down here. This is always the hard part for me, is working out what colour I'm going to put on there. I actually like the You Inspire Me from the, what's that one called? Inspiring Imperfections. Help me, people. I really don't know what to put on the front of this now. But it all worked out. Okay, let's use Thanks for Being You. Oh, my goodness. Is that one? I think it is. Thanks for Being You. That's rather a nice one. You're going to do one later today, but not sure what time. That's fine. We will keep an eye open. Okay, so I'm just using early espresso on here. Do I want it to one side? I'm really not sure what I'm going to do on the top of here yet. So I'm going to put it in the middle. Oh, that didn't work. Let's turn it up. Not supposed to do that. We've got the things going the wrong way now, but that's okay. There we go. Thanks for being you. Quite like that, actually. So I've got my stitching coming up instead of going down, but that'll be okay. Alrighty, so now we'll put these back on here. Just as well, there's two sides to a piece of card, isn't it? Now let me stand up here and see if I can actually get this somewhat straight this time. That's a bit better. Alrighty, so now that is going to go flat that side, but I'm going to put a couple of small dimensionals on that side to hold it up against there. And we've done that wrong side now. Goodness me, we're not doing really well this morning. It needs to be that side, Lorraine. How many of there were you shouting, wrong side, Lorraine, wrong side? Oh, that's a good idea, Sheila. Adding some people to the happy mail list. That's lovely. And there we go. That helps with that to be there. All right, so that's what we've got. And it helps if you put the glue on the other side. Might stop reading for a minute so that I can concentrate on what I'm doing. All right, so let's pop that. There we go. Thanks for being you. I think that's rather lovely. Okay, so that is the basics of the card. Now, I wouldn't normally have used basic beige with crumb cake and pink. I've used basic beige crumb cake with something like early espresso. I think I did my cards for on stage, my swap cards with that. But yeah, so that's what we've got here. Now, I may have to, let me see, I might have to put a bow on this, but I don't really want to go off the color scheme, and I don't actually have. Oh dear. The things we do, hey? And it's funny, when you do it at home on your own and no one's watching, it doesn't seem to matter. And then you do it when you're online and you think, oh my goodness, everybody must think I'm an idiot. All right, so I'm just thinking of putting a bow now. I am not a bow person. I don't usually do bows, as we all know, or I do very few bows. Oops, that turned. And this one's called just classic ribbon. I have no idea what or where it came with, but it's probably the one that I've got that's close enough to the color, and that is too big. I can't be dealing with bows that overwhelm the card. Let me cut a bit more of that. I still think that's too big. I come on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 9:30, unless something happens that I can't get on. Occasionally I'll come on a Sunday evening. And now I'm just going to throw a spanner in that works because at the end of August, I will be fully retired. So I may be able to do the 5 days a week. I'm hoping to. but I was saying the other day, one of them may be an evening one. So it's very subtle. Tanya, I don't even know if it's still, whatever you call it, still available. But, you know, I didn't want to put anything else on there. It was just, I don't know. I didn't want to put anything else on there. So I've got that one on there. Now, what I want to do now is put on some bling bling. And we can use, oh, they're really the wrong pink. We can use just the ordinary bling, or we can go with, we've got a couple in here that look pretty much the same. These ones, they're not the same, but they'll work. These, obviously, the rhinestones, they'll work on anything because they're clear. Okay, so we've sort of got those. I'll just quickly look through and see if there's anything else that I think might work. Nope, 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 no. I'm looking forward to some of the new ones that are coming through, because we've got some newer colors coming through. Okay, so I'm personally thinking these little ones up here, I don't know if you can see, they're a nice light pink. I could use these ones here. They take on a few different colors. They'd be nice. Or we can use just the ordinary. Still want to make that smaller, but anyway. We could just use the clear ones. What do we think? Let me put a glue dot on this ribbon. And I also want to put one just inside, roll it up. I just want to pop it inside here to hold that. And then I put one on the back. I'll put another one on there because I've just stuck that down. I think when I move from here, I'm going to be looking at, well, I can't remember what it's called. It's a fast internet thing, and you actually pay for it. But my son has it, and he has no problems at all. Card maker's choice, Kim. Is that a cop-out? I'm surprised my mother hasn't come back with anything. She's usually got something to say when it comes to this. That's the trouble when you move and your internet and everything just has to, it just throws everything, doesn't it? All right, I think I'm going to use these up here because they are very much more the colors that I'm looking at. So I think I'll put one down here, and then maybe I've only got large or small. I've got no middle-sized ones. So we'll use all the biggie ones. One there. Maybe, definitely want one down here somewhere. And I'm thinking, goodness me, if I put one there, then I need to move this one. So I like to make like a triangle. Definitely need one down there. No, it'll have to stay. It's a very narrow triangle. I could put a couple more of the tiny ones on. Now that would work. So I could put one down there. So we've got, I wonder if one would stick on the ribbon. Let's see. One on the ribbon. What do we think? Do we like that on the ribbon? No, I don't. Get rid of it. Now it's there for life. Didn't like that after all. So I'll just pop another small one on somewhere. 4, and let's go 5. Let's do one up there. Alrighty, so that gives us, you've used them before. They do look lovely together, don't they? I was actually quite surprised. All right, so now I'm going to put the front on. I think I will. I was tempted to raise it up, but I don't think I will. I think I will put it down straight. You know what I hate when I have to pack is I like to put things in boxes and write on the box which part of the house it belongs in. And I do usually pack up most of the house. My husband does his garage because I certainly don't want to get out there. And but then he'll come in and he'll find something and he'll say, oh, just chuck it in there. And there goes my whole plan of what I've got where. And then I get frustrated. Okay, so we've got that. Now, let me just pop these over this side and that up there. So for an insert, I would cut a piece of crumb cake with a piece of, I got that piece of crumb cake that I had. This one, I'm just going to cut this one at 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. Is that 5 1/4? So we'll do 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. And then I need a piece of the crumb cake. I had a piece here before, and now it's it hasn't disappeared. It's just on the normal trick. That's not. Okay, we'll just get another piece out. It will always be used. And I'll just cut this piece at 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. I'm not going to be putting, I'm not going to stamp any wording on the inside. I'll leave that until I decide to send it or whatever else I'm going to do with it. Okay. But I usually like to pop something around. Let me have a look at what. That's bubble bath. We've got some pretty in pink here, and as I've started doing this a lot, let's see what it looks like if we just go around the edge. Just takes the plainness off of it. Actually, it would, Holly. It's got that sort of delicate effect to it, hasn't it? Actually, that's something I don't do. I don't make many baby cards. So what do you think you make the most cards for, not counting birthdays? Because, I mean, we all make heaps of birthday cards. What do you make the most for? I do a lot of thank you cards, which I donate to work, of course, because we often send thank you cards to people that make donations to us. I don't do a lot of mail. You do thank you cards, Sheila? I'd like a few more inspirational quotes without the, how can I put it? So the ones that I was going to use before, which were change can be beautiful, grateful for you, have a perfectly lovely day, you've got this, may the season fill your, the beauty of the season fill your heart with joy. Those sorts of things I like, and I like those big ones. I like the, yep, that's a good one. Get well and sympathy for the hospital. Yeah. Yep. Yes. So I like those, what would you call it? Motivational, more motivational type stamps. I'm really not into a lot of the I love you, dear friend, and all. I mean, I do love my friends, don't get me wrong, but I'm not the sort of person that sends out cards with stuff like that on. So I really like I really like the more basic, I suppose, or gratitude cards. Gratitude I like, but yeah, not the lovey-dovey friendship things. It's just not me. I know a lot of people do love it, and as we always say, it's everybody to their own. It's just not me. Encouragement sentiments, yes, absolutely. Encouragement cards, that would be awesome. It's just interesting to know what other people look for. I also like comical. Yes, great idea. See, we're a great think tank when we get together. I can't really put any Wink of Stella on there because there's not really anywhere to put it. I could probably have put a couple of things out of here, but yeah, I quite like that card as it is. I'm going to come up to the top. So remember what I said. I'll put it on my Facebook page, and anyone who comes up with what I would call unconventional colors and puts them together and you make a card, feel free to put them in the comment section underneath my bit where I write it, and that way then it'll go up there, because I don't think I have my page set that anyone else can write on it, because I had a couple of really weird things happen, so I took that off. But yeah, thanks, Tanya. I love it when we all get together and we all make these great ideas. Thanks, Sue. Let me come back up to the top. There we go. Oh my goodness, I feel like naked. Yeah, so that's our card for today. Very basic, but you know, there's so much you could do with it if you wanted to. Like, you might even like to thread a ribbon through and tie it so that it sits as a bigger part of the card. Depends on how you feel. I remember a stamp that I used to have, and I was just wondering if I had it in here, but I don't think I do. It was something about skating through life with a bottle of wine in one hand and something or other in the other, and going woohoo. And that's the sort of things I like, because that was central to the card. The stamp was the front of the card. So I can't remember the exact saying, but it was really cool, and I did use it quite often. So thanks, Lynn. I must admit, this week and last week, I've sort of gone with the more simple, clean, straightforward cards, and I'm actually quite liking them. You like those colors? Or put your thinking caps on. Let's come up with some other colors. Let's come up with some weird and wonderful creations. We can do it. We're women. We can do anything. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. My mum hasn't had much to say today. Goodness me. Yeah, so one thing I was going to ask, does anybody know how, anyone who uses Restream, you know, when you actually go into someone else's live, and some of them you can actually open up the chat box and see what was said, even though you're watching You're About Funny for sure. Me too, Kim. I'll see if I can get that whole saying, because it's really good, skidding in with, you know, a bottle of wine in one hand and some shouting woohoo or something. Yeah, sometimes you can go in and watch a replay and you can actually read the chat box. I don't know if you can do that when you watch my replays. Thanks, Marlene. But anyway, that was just a thought. Okie dokie, that's it for me for today. I have work tomorrow, so there'll be no live tomorrow, and I will see everyone again on Thursday. Suzanne's going to do one a bit later, so if you're on her, if you've got her, if you subscribe to her and you press the notification bell, you should get a notification when she goes live. And if you're still on there, Suzanne, take care of you. Hi, Daphne. And yeah, bye, everyone. I will see you all on Thursday. Yes, I'm sure, Sheila. Bye, everyone.